Hello, everyone. How's it all going? Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're calling from. I'm Michael from Link Tourism. We've also got Belle and Lexi from United and Brand USA, respectively. So let us know, wave, put some comments in the chat, just to make sure you can all hear us.
Awesome.
Well, you beat me to it. I didn't even open chat. It was already like 20 messages. So well done, everyone. Hi.
Everyone's quick off the mark today. I love it.
I love it. I love it. I would ask how everyone's day is going, but we can't hear you. So I'm just going to ask Belle and Lexi how your days are going whilst we wait a few seconds for some people to dial in.
It's going great. Thank you guys for having me.
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, all good here. Can't wait to share my top tips.
We can't wait to hear them. So.
Yeah.
All right, we'll just give it a couple more minutes and then we will get started. But thank you everyone for joining us. I know we've got people from New Zealand, we've got people from the East Coast, the West Coast of Australia, so all different time zones. I think we have everyone from 10 a.m. through to 3 p.m. depending on where you're dialing in from. So hopefully this time is okay and some of you can dial in, but we will have a recording of the presentation later to share if you want to go back over anything or if you've got any teammates that you'd like to share it with. So plenty of time to come. So all right, well, I think we can get cracking. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael and I'm the Strategic Director at Link Tourism. I'm also the rep for the lovely Visit Anaheim, which is why I'm here today. And joining me is Belinda Bell from United Airlines. Hi, Belle. And the lovely Lexi from Brand USA. So we are here to take you through webinar 2 of our Ultimate FAM incentive. So the chat box is open, the Q&A section is also there. I do ask if you've got any specific questions regarding any of the presentations we're going to go through that you put it in the Q&A. So obviously the chat gets a little bit more like complicated to read through, but if you've got any specific questions, throw it in the Q&A and we will have time at the end to go through all of those. But we absolutely encourage comments in the chats. Chat away. There's 3 of us here today, so whilst one of us is presenting, the others can be in there and, you know, engaging if we can. But we are here today to also talk about our amazing Ultimate FAM incentive that you've hopefully seen in trade media as well as in EDMs and things over the past, I think 6 weeks now. So we have an amazing FAM incentive running to the USA, and very thanks to our partners at United Airlines and Brand USA. We have 10 amazing spots to give away, 5 as part of the incentive that's on the screen right now. So this is for our top sellers and a couple of random draws. We have drawn our first random winner. I'm not sure if they're on the line, but someone has won the first random spot and that will be announced very, very soon. But there are still 3 top sellers and 1 random spot to go. And that will all be announced at the end of March. So you've still got a few weeks to log any bookings that qualify, those being return airfares to the USA with United Airlines, as well as any 3-night stay or longer at our participating destinations, which include Arizona, Colorado, New York State, Anaheim, and of course, Seattle. So any bookings that qualify, pop them in there. But part of the reason you're here is because we also have 2 amazing spots to give away as part of this webinar series. So just for joining us today, you're going to go into the draw for that. We've got one final webinar next week. And then after that, we will be pulling all the names together and drawing 2 lucky winners to join us on this once in a lifetime FAM. Well, I'm hoping it's not once in a lifetime. I'm hoping we can do it again. Belle, are you ready to confirm that right now?
Nothing like putting me on the spot, Michael.
No, we'll see what happens next year, but we're giving it a crack. So, but for now, we'll get started on some of the presentations. We won't take up too much of your time, but as I said, any questions, just let us know. But to kick things over, we're going to start with the amazing United Airlines to take us through some of their services and how you're all, well, hopefully some of you will be joining us and getting over to the US. So over to you, Belle. I'll stop sharing mine.
Fantastic. Okay, now bear with me 1 second. Let's make sure it's all going to work. And what can we see? Can we see everything you need to, Michael? Because I've just got you on my screen.
Looks good.
Fantastic. Thanks, Michael. Now, before we get started, and Michael, you'll have to keep an eye on the chat because it's no longer on my screen. I'm going to test everyone's memory from the United presentation that was last week. Does anyone remember the number of aircraft I mentioned that we had in the UA fleet as of last week? There's going to be a pair of United pajamas that will be sent out to the person who gets the right number first. How many aircraft do we currently have in the fleet?
There's already about 20 answers.
Yeah.
Do you want us
Is
to
there?
tell? Yes.
What are we looking at, roughly?
There was 1,008 is what
Yes.
everyone has responded. So yeah, we can.
That's it, my friend. So whoever responded first, 1,008 was correct as of last week. But this week, we are sitting at 1,010. So just to give you guys a bit of an idea how much United is growing and how much we expect to continue to grow. A couple of years ago, we had a growth strategy of around 700 aircraft that were going to be added to the fleet by 2032. So we're definitely well on track. And as mentioned last week, the largest airline in the world, officially. Okay, so we're going to go next to a quick video and then we'll get into it.
This is the story of every flight to every place you'll ever have to take ever. There's the one you'll take across an ocean or back home to the kids' table. All the flights to all the places when all your friends get married in the same year. The work one, the fancy work one. The flights you'll take with them and the ones you'll take without them. And all the flights in between. Because when we built the world's biggest airline, we built it around you. This is the story.
Okay, so we've got some top tips and a few key points that we're going to cover off today. So United offers a consistent and reliable onboard experience across our international fleet, as I alluded to last week in our update. So we're ensuring the passengers' comfort and quality no matter where they're flying to. So you've got a consistent product that you can confidently sell. With the modern aircraft, you've got spacious seating, you've got inspired dining and award-winning entertainment, and every journey is a seamless experience, especially in our Polaris business class cabin. So regardless of what aircraft you're selling out of Australia and anything on our long-haul product, all you need to remember is it's the exact same product across the fleet. And speaking of our network, United Airlines, we've partnered with Virgin Australia and it makes travel between Australia and the US smoother than ever, with passengers enjoying seamless connections to over 90 destinations throughout Australia with our Virgin partnership and over 200 through the US, and reciprocal frequent flyer benefits. Elite members get access to lounge, priority check-in and boarding, and the ability to earn and burn those frequent flyer points. Today, I thought I would give you my top tips. Some of these are related to United, but others are just US traveling tips in general. So number one is our Jetstream portal. This is where you are able to go and stay up to date with all of the policies, procedures. You're able to find weather waivers, disrupt waivers, everything in here for you guys to access to self-manage your PNRs. You don't need to log in. There's a little hamburger. I call it a little hamburger. It's 3 little lines on the top left-hand corner. Just click in there and then that will take you through to everything that you need to access from an agency side of things. Now, do your customers need more flexibility? Our P-Flex fares have now been loaded as published, making it easier for you guys to sell and giving your customers more flexibility. Now, hot topic this week, I went to our solutions team to find the number one thing that people have been coming to them through this week and it was baggage. So a reminder that UA has an awesome baggage calculator on united.com. So you're able to go through, pop your customer's PNR and surname, and it will give you all of their eligible baggage, as well as how much it's going to cost for any excess baggage that they might have to go with them. Now, mobile passport control, my last top tip for the day. If you have not heard about MPC, I suggest that you jump into Google right now. after the webinar and take a look. So skipping the lines and breezing through US immigration with mobile passport control is available for Aussie and Kiwi citizens. And it allows you to submit your passport details and customs declaration via your phone before even reaching the US. Once you arrive in LA, San Francisco, you're able to go through then, click a button in that app to say that you've arrived, and then you skip the regular immigration queue and go through to the mobile passport control. The last group I took in November last year, we had 20 coming out of Sydney, and we were off the aircraft at 6:02 a.m. And then we had collected our bags and standing on the other side at 6:26. So fantastic, top tip. Mobile passport control if you do have any passengers that are traveling via the US, to make sure that they jump in and download it before traveling. And our solutions team, if you don't have the details, please jot them down, or Michael did say that we will be recording this so you can go back and reference it. Our Sydney solutions team are here for your escalated trade support queries. So if you run into any issues and you need any support, please give the guys an email. They are super quick in responding and honestly are the best in the business. And that's a wrap from United. So I'm going to hand over to Michael to cover off just one of the most incredible destinations that United will be flying you guys through to for the fam, Anaheim. So take it away, Michael.
Thanks, Belle. That was amazing. I look forward to joining my flight and coming over with the group. So let's make sure that everyone can see the screen. Can everyone see Welcome to Anaheim? Does it look okay? Perfect. All right. So as I said, if you've got any questions for Belle, pop them in the Q&A and we can address them at the end. But for now, we're going to head over to Anaheim, which is the one destination that all of the attendees will be visiting. So we are dropping some hints over the next few days as to how the routes are running. But there are two itineraries as part of this amazing famil. One will be off to Seattle, Arizona, and then coming to Anaheim. The other will be off to Colorado, New York State, and then coming to Anaheim. So Anaheim is the end, the finale. We are the ultimate playground. Well, California is the ultimate playground, and we like to say Anaheim's the ultimate playground within the ultimate playground. We're a place where imagination thrives, creativity is boundless, and it's just a good time. So it's the perfect place to end this amazing famil. So firstly, I just want to kick off with your local contacts. So anyone joining us from New Zealand, Lisa, our lovely colleague, is over in New Zealand. She's based in Auckland. So if you've got any questions, Lisa is the person to reach out to if you're joining us from New Zealand. Otherwise, if you're joining us from Australia, I am your local contact and my details are there. But we do also have resource pages available in both markets with additional webinars, training materials, and the all-important industry offers. So if you're heading over, excluding this fam and doing it on your own, there are plenty of ways that we can help you do that. Really quick refresher, as I'm hoping you're all familiar with where Anaheim is located. So we are in Orange County, roughly 45 minutes south of Los Angeles. Anaheim is a separate city to Los Angeles. We are not part of LA, but we are neighbors to LA. So LA is the main gateway that travelers will use. But just keep in mind there are a lot of other airports in that vicinity that United services. And so if you are continuing on after your trip to Anaheim, that you may want to try Long Beach and some of the other airports, John Wayne Airport, that are actually in closer proximity than LAX if you don't want to backtrack. Or, as Lexi will take you through in a few moments, pick up a car and hit the road. So there are plenty of options to explore. So, as I said earlier, we are the ultimate playground. Some of you may have heard me talk on webinars in the past. So what I'm trying to do this time is highlight some of the things that our lucky fam attendees will get to experience as part of the ultimate fam. Kicking it off with the big one, and at a milestone year. So yes, we are going to Disneyland Resort. We will have 2 magical days at Disneyland, not full days, part days, but we will get to be one of the first to experience the 70th anniversary celebrations, which actually kick off May 16th. So given this fam is traveling early June, you will be one of the first Aussies, I'm sure, exploring everything that this amazing celebration has to offer. No one throws a party like Disneyland. If you've been to any of the celebrations over the decades, they really go all out. So there are a huge amount of decorations coming, including special decor, special costumes for the characters, all these little photo opportunities around the park, including a massive 50-foot modern Art Deco version of the castle of Sleeping Beauty Castle in the hub between the 2 parks. So plenty of photo ops, lots of food opportunities. It's going to be amazing. There's also a few new attractions coming back. So my favorite, I was fortunate to visit during the 60th anniversary of Disneyland, and Paint the Night, the electrical parade, was one of my all-time highlights. It's been almost a decade since this amazing parade has been seen in the parks, and it is coming back to Disneyland Park as part of the 70th celebration. So hopefully we'll get a chance to experience that during your visit. We also have a brand new World of Color show called Happiness coming to Disney California Adventure Park. And this is the first time a World of Color show will be hosted by a particular group of characters, and they are the characters from Inside Out and Inside Out 2. So we will be going through an emotional roller coaster in this brand new show that's entirely inspired by Walt's opening address of what Disneyland is all about. So this one is super exciting. And if you're a fan of the Muppets, there will also be a Muppets pre-show to this experience, which as a Muppets fan, I am super, super excited for. And then another fan favorite's also coming back. So Wondrous Journeys was part of the 65th anniversary 5 years ago, and this amazing fireworks projection show will be back as part of the 70th anniversary. So hopefully, if the dates align, we might be able to check that out as well. But Disneyland Resort is just the beginning. Don't get me wrong. It's a very large part of why to come to Anaheim, but there are plenty more to see and do, and we're going to try to jam in as much as we can in 3 epic days. I should have said at the start, and I'm going to say this again, this is not a fam if you want to chill out and sleep and rest. This is going to be an active, once in a lifetime jam as much as you can into an epic adventure fam. So prepare for yourselves if you're lucky to win a spot, because it will be intense but amazing, and we're excited. So some of the other experiences we'll be exploring in Anaheim, this is just a list of some of the other attractions that are generally all within 15 minutes of Anaheim. Some, like Citadel Outlet's a little bit further out, but it just goes to show the proximity of the area. But some of the things we're going to be doing, we're going to be heading out to my favorite food hall, the Anaheim Packing House, which is hard to believe, but it's actually almost 11 years of age. This is one of the original gastro, like food hubs, that's a terrible word, but it is actually what it's called, like that, uber funky high-end food hall. But amazing food, drinks. We'll be heading out there to explore. And if we're lucky, we may even sneak into one of Anaheim's speakeasies or tiki bars. So the Blind Rabbit is actually part of the Anaheim Packing House. Strongwater's 5 minutes walk away, and it is a James Beard nominated tiki bar that's all inspired by the flavors of Anaheim. The owner is a massive Disney fan, so he will tell you as he's making the cocktail everything about why the ingredients were selected. It is out of this world and definitely worth heading to. We might be heading up to one of our rooftop bars. We have 4 in Anaheim with breathtaking views all over Southern California. It is the perfect place to chill out, have tapas, and wine the night away, or watch the fireworks from a slightly further distance from the park, but still great views. We will be heading to at least one of Anaheim's over 20 breweries. There are many to choose from, but we will definitely check one of those into the itinerary. And I'm pleased to announce we will be going to Angel Stadium to catch a baseball game. What's really cool about this is that one of our other partners on this fam is Seattle. So we will be checking out a game versus the Los Angeles Anaheim Angels and the Seattle Mariners. So two of our destinations. So depending on which route you're on, you might be barricking for different teams, I should say. And finally, no visit to the US is complete without shopping. So we will be ending with the amazing Shop Until You Drop Off tour to Citadel Outlets with our partners at Carmel. So you will be heading out to do some shopping. And then again, I'm going to put Belle on the spot, and she will give you your restrictions for luggage allowance to make sure that you are restrained in your purchases. But Citadel Outlets is just one of the locations, shopping locations we have on offer. There are plenty of other options in and around Anaheim if you were coming over for a holiday. All right, so there's some of the things that we are definitely doing. These are some of the things we don't have time to do, but should definitely be on your Anaheim radar. We are home to California's first theme park, Knott's Berry Farm, which is where the boysenberry was first engineered. So if you've ever wanted to try amazing fried chicken with boysenberry sauce, it's delicious. This is the place to check it out. And during the summer months, they also have the neighboring Soak City Water Park for anyone wanting to chill out in some cool pools. Anaheim is also in Orange County. We are home to a beautiful section of Highway 1. So if you don't have time to do a full road trip all the way up Highway 1, it's an amazing day trip to pick up a car, start in Long Beach and wind your way down to Dana Point, stopping at the likes of Newport Beach, which is where the OC was set, Huntington Beach, Surf City, USA, and then Laguna Beach for some antiquing and like funky cafes and art galleries. It is an incredible day. And this little photo here is some tiki boats that you can actually hire with groups and cruise around Balboa and Newport. It's amazing. If you've got a full day, you can head out on the Catalina Express. It's 45 minutes by Catalina Express from Long Beach. Again, just 20 minutes from Anaheim. And you can head out to the Mediterranean-inspired, beautiful island of Catalina. Absolutely amazing location. There's zip lining, there's scuba diving, snorkeling, all sorts of things you can do out there. It is well worth a visit. So make sure you check that out. And then if we did have more time, and part of the reason people do stay as long as they do in Anaheim is that we are a really good base to then go on adventures from. So whether you want to head down to San Diego and check out Legoland in Carlsbad, or continue down to San Diego Zoo, or head up to Los Angeles and Hollywood for the day to do Universal, we are a great flop and drop destination that you can then go and do those other experiences from. I can see someone popped into the chat, the Richard Nixon Library. It is amazing. So if you want to get your photo in the White House, or the Oval Office, I should say, it's well worth it. And it's, again, 20-25 minutes drive from Anaheim. So really, really easy to get to. So as I said, normally we would recommend 7 days in Anaheim. Unfortunately, we're not going to have time to do that on the fam, but it is a great message. And if you are looking for any tips and tricks, we have some great webinars to outline what a 7-day trip could look like. So feel free to jump on our resource page and download any of those. But I do want to touch base on 2 exciting developments I want to highlight. We are also the home of imagination. Walt once said Disneyland would never be complete, and the same goes for Anaheim. So you are going to hear a lot over the next 5 years about an amazing evolution of Anaheim, starting with OC Vibe. So this is a new downtown precinct that's opening 10 minutes from Disneyland. It is around the Honda Center where the Anaheim Ducks play, but it is 35 new restaurants, 4 new hotels, many new event venues, parkland, shopping, dining. It is all coming to Anaheim. It has already broken ground, and phase 1 will open next year. It will all be open by 2028 when the Olympics come to Southern California and LA. So you'll be hearing a lot about this as things evolve. And yes, we are actually, so Anaheim actually stands for by the river. And so we are actually creating a river again in Anaheim. And so there will be a waterfront precinct where you will be able to jet ski, kayak, all sorts of things. So a new downtown and a whole new evolution for Anaheim on its way over the next few years. And if that wasn't enough, Disneyland has also announced their biggest expansion since California Adventure Park. Disneyland Forward will see over 12 new attractions added to Disneyland Resort in the next decade. 4 have already been announced and are already in development and about to break ground. In fact, one of them has already broken ground. So watch this space. There is a lot to come. You will not recognize what's ahead over the next decade. So we are super, super excited. And lastly, I'm not going to touch base on hotels. There are plenty of webinars that you can watch, but what part of the reason people do stay as long as they do in Anaheim is that we do offer a lot of variety and a lot of options, particularly for the family market. If you've got big groups, some of our hotels can do triple interconnecting rooms that sleep up to 12 with bunk beds. You can sleep, actually, sorry, I lie, 16 with bunk beds. But there is luxury properties, apartment style. If you're wanting a value proposition, you can get groceries delivered and cook a couple of meals in kitchenettes. All of that is available in Anaheim, which is why people do tend to use it as an amazing base. So I'm not going to go through all those, but I do just want to highlight one of the hotels, and that's the Howard Johnson, because that is where half of our delegation will be staying when they come to Anaheim. This is a fan favorite for the Australian market. It sits roughly 7 to 8 minute walk from Disneyland, been popular for many, many years for the Australian market and available through most wholesalers and operators in Australia. But it has an amazing water play area for families. They will absolutely love it, as well as a more tranquil area for adults in the garden pool. An amazing property. Heather, the sales manager for the Hojo, just wanted you all to be aware that she is very proactive on social media. So you can always use her social media to look at what all the room categories are like, because they do have a lot of room categories. She does want to point out that our deluxe rooms are all the fully renovated rooms, and they are in the taller buildings, which are building 1 and building 2. So if you're looking at that, that's a map of the Howard Johnson and can allocate which room is which. And again, for more information, there's some QR codes here where you can explore further. All right, that is it from me. Again, any questions on Anaheim, please feel free to pop them in the Q&A and we can address them in a few more minutes. But for now, as I said earlier, Anaheim is the perfect place to pick up a car. Don't pick it up in LAX. You don't want to do it the first thing you've done after you've landed in LA. You want to relax for a couple of days, enjoy its Anaheim, then pick up your car and take to the road as you explore some road trips. So over to you, Lexi.
Thank you. And thanks, guys, for having us as a partner on this incredible campaign and incentive. It looks amazing. And I can't wait to see who the lucky agents are that get to join this one. I'm Lexi, and I will be speaking to you guys from Brand USA today. And I thought that I would give you a quick intro to who Brand USA are and myself, for those of you who are not familiar with us. We are the tourism brand for the USA here in Australia and New Zealand, and it's our role to assist and support the travel industry and Australian and New Zealand travellers to get the most out of all their US experiences. While my photo is on the screen today, for those of you joining us from New Zealand, you may be familiar with Elaine Patton, who oversees our New Zealand training and support. So please reach out to either of us if you need anything. We're also the leading body of research for inbound travellers to the United States, which is really important. It gives us an insightful way of helping the trades in market, but it also gives stakeholders access to relevant information on their valuable global markets. And that is really important when it comes to product development and how we promote the United States. My role is the trade manager for training and product development here in Australia and New Zealand. And prior to this role, I was an agent, just like you guys, for 14 years. I try to bring in that experience into how I use training and incentive activations in market. But I love hearing all about your experiences. I have been fortunate enough to travel 46 of the 50 states, and I've just completed driving through my 28th state. But my favorite thing is sharing it with you guys and hearing how the US impacts you and your clients every day. So please reach out if there's anything that I can do. So we did touch on road trips, and I wanted to just elaborate a little bit more on what we can do. For those of you who are fortunate to nab a spot on any of these itineraries with the Ultimate Fam, you will spend some time on the road. So I thought I would just evolve that a little bit. Brand USA has some very key pillars, and I'm going to run through how these blend into road tripping really beautifully from some of my own personal experiences on the road. So local legends. Road tripping is a great way to meet the locals that make the land what it is. It might be that you end up in a historic bar in Tennessee and the bartender tells you amazing tales of the times that they poured drinks for Elvis and Johnny Cash during their dark days. It might be that a transformative adventure is you take a back road and find the most incredible glamping spot in a forest that you could only have ever dreamed of. Or potentially sports tourism, which we know is growing across Australia and New Zealand markets, takes you to a southern state collegiate football game and you get to join a tailgate with a local family. Culinary adventures are always great, and it could be discovering the local delicacy on a roadside diner or sharing s'mores with a couple that you meet in a bar in Denali, Alaska, which has happened. So the last of that is arts and culture. And we know that our markets are traveling more and more for these artistic and cultural events such as festivals. So potentially you pick up a car in California and you find yourself at Coachella, or you deep dive into the Nevada desert and wind up at Burning Man. These are all things that are so much more accessible when you get behind the wheel. The truth is that roadways will lead you further into the unknown and the unexpected of what the United States has to offer. And we also know that with United, you can fly almost anywhere to start that road trip adventure. So is there a road trip for everybody? Brand USA has created 37 road trip itineraries. They're all multi-state, excluding Alaska and Hawaii, guys. Those two did have a few little boundaries for us. But all our other itineraries are multi-state. They are a perfect selling and reference tool for you. I wish this existed when I was an agent selling road trips. We've broken down the route by city to city, drive time, and kilometers covered. This makes it easier for you to ascertain whether or not it's attainable for a client, if they're comfortable with those drive times. And we've tried to limit the drive times to no more than 4 hours. All of our storytelling pillars are included through these itineraries too. So they're broken down for you in what to see, where to stop, and where to stay. The itineraries are available in PDF format for you to download, save, and email directly to your clients. And then you can go on to book them with whoever your preferred product partner is. These are all housed in our promote section of the USA Discovery Program. And if you're not a member of that, it's very simple to sign up and you can access all of these itineraries immediately. Whether or not you've progressed through the training program, you still have access to all of the promotional tools. So why should we encourage our markets to road trip? 58% of Aussies surveyed, Michael, I'll just get you to move to, sorry, hon, thanks. Yes, 58% of Aussies surveyed advise that they want to see 2 to 3 cities on any given trip to the United States. 21% want to see 4 or more cities. So it's a great time to be positioning road tripping to your client, knowing that they want more out of the time that they have while they're in the US. The quality of the roads in the US is second to none, and I'll talk a little bit more to this in the next few slides. And the diversity and the awe-inspiring landscapes that you can experience, not only state to state, but internally in each state, is out of this world. So speaking of the interstate, and you'll have to bear with me, guys, because I do go a little bit full nerd here, but I wanted to give you a visual on what the amazing interstate looks like across the United States. It's an incredible system, and it was led by the Eisenhower government and then followed through by the Roosevelt government. And I mention this because there are many obstacles to creating the interstate across the US, but in 1956, the Federal Highway Act was put into government. The reason I bring this up is because we have got a number of people that are concerned about driving on the opposite side of the road. But because this is an act through government, there are a lot of technical standards that come into play. Lanes have to be 12 feet wide, shoulders have to be 10 foot wide, and all of the highways are designed to be travelled at 70 miles per hour at minimum. Notably, the US uses large sections of dual carriageway as well, which also helps for seamless road travel. So guys, if you have clients that are concerned or have some, a little bit of apprehension about the idea of driving, let them know that there are, challenges, but by and large, the roadways in the US have been designed to be really easy to travel. And once they have done it, they will find for themselves the ease of opening up the country. As of 2010, the interstate totaled 47,000 in sections. So there is a huge amount of the country that you can access by road. And there's honestly nowhere better on earth, in my opinion, than the US to find the guts and the glory of the place. So that is pretty much it for me. Thank you for letting me talk your ear off about why we should get out to the US by road. All of our resources can be found via our link tree, which is through the QR code here. That will link you to incentives just like this one, the Ultimate Fan, but also all of our tools and resources. And of course, my contact details are there for you if you ever need them. Thanks.
Amazing. Thanks, Lexi. Well, we've got a few more minutes, so if anyone has any questions, I know a few people raised their hands. I'm sorry, we can't, I can't take questions that way, but if you pop it into the Q&A, we should be able to respond. Otherwise, we will do a follow-up with our emails, so you're welcome to email us after, and we can answer you directly. But yeah, if you want to, open into the Q&A section and pop them in there. I think a couple did come through in the chat, and I think we caught most of them, but if anyone did mention anything that we haven't answered, maybe pop it in again a second whilst we're still here. And then I'm also just going to go backwards. Hopefully everyone's grabbed the Lexi's slide for Brand USA contact. Perfect. There were quite a few people who said I was too fast on the Hojo slide. So if you need those QR codes, they are there for you as well if you would like to grab those. Any other questions coming through? I mean, I would ask who wants to join the fam, but I feel like that's already been quite apparent. Like I said, you can still go and add anything that any of the qualifying bookings that you've made from 1 Feb to 31 March. It's not too late to go and register and add them. They just need to be logged by the 31st of March and have been booked and either deposited or paid in full between the dates of 1 Feb, 31 March. Like I said, you only need one booking to win that random spot. The more you book, the more you put in, the more likely your chances are to be one of the top sellers. And we do have, still the 2 random spots from this webinar series to go as well. Let me just make sure I've got everything. New posts. Lexi, what's your favorite US state to drive through? Oh, this is contentious. Be careful.
I was just about to respond. I don't have favorites, guys. I'm a very even playing field for me. But having just returned from Arizona, I will say the diversity across the state is beyond anything I could have imagined. From desert to Red Rock Canyon to rocky cacti fields to snow fields, it had everything. So if you're looking for true diversity, I think that is a standout.
Amazing. We did have a question regarding checking on bookings. To be honest, if you can't recall that you've popped it in, pop it in again. We will be vetting all the bookings once it's concluded. We're not going to, penalize you for putting a booking in twice. If it's the same PNR or the same booking number, we'll be able to check that it's been in there twice. But if you're not sure, just pop it in. Ultimately, we will delete out anything that doesn't qualify as we go through all of the bookings once the competition closes. Have we got any more? Sally inspired you last week to go Karina on an Arizona road trip. Absolutely recommend that. Been there a few times myself. It's amazing. Highly recommend it. I'm not asking you your national park count, Lexi, because it's going to be much higher than mine. So okay.
I can't even. And with state parks, it's
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Alison, you asked the question about flights from Las Vegas to Houston. Sadly, no, it has to be ex-Australia or New Zealand services. So the long haul routes essentially to go into the draw on this one. But hopefully they're flying over to the US on United, so you can definitely log that portion. Are there any other questions? Do we put each booking for as if there is a hotel and flight and tour, etc.? So there, once you log in, it will make it very, very clear. So you actually have to, the United flights you have to put in your own section, and then there's a separate section for land. So if you have booked, and this is amazing, return flights to the US with United, plus a 3-night stay in Anaheim and a 3-night stay in New York, you would literally log that booking 3 times to do so. Perfect. Anything else? Is there a resource where I can learn more about the National Park Pass, America the Beautiful? Lexi?
Yeah, we have a National Parks badge on USA Discovery Program, which we'll cover over the pass as well. But also the National Parks Resource Centre online does have a huge amount of intel as well.
Perfect. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling through to make sure we haven't missed anyone.
I think there was one more just around Chicago to New York to Boston driving. Is it good to drive?
Absolutely.
What was the question?
Is it
good to drive from Chicago to New York to Boston? She said she'll check the website, but just wanted your suggestion.
It's a big route for sure, but certainly the road trip itineraries are a great place to start to map out just how detailed and how long those trips will be. It may be that you find pieces that you are comfortable to drive and then pieces that you would rather fly or train. But absolutely, I've done that region, and I went Chicago through to Maine, and then I went all the way down through the New England area into Massachusetts. So it is stunning, very much worthwhile, easy drive, but it is a big region, so just have to map it out.
You can actually even cycle some of it. There's a really great biking trail up there if you're a mountain bike enthusiast. There are some great routes around some of the lakes up there and the Thousand Islands region of New York State, which you will hear about next week, which seems like a perfect segue. We're almost out of time, but remember we do have one final webinar to go next week. This one will be our lovely friend Jack, who will be hosting with Carrie, and they will take you through the amazing states of Colorado and New York State to showcase more of what there is beyond Denver and New York City, as well as highlight some of the amazing experience in both of those locations, which we know are very popular with the Australian and New Zealand market. So make sure you're registered for that. The QR code is up on the screen if you're not yet registered, and we will be sending around recordings from this. But that's it. Any final words, Belle, Lexi?
No, guys, just good luck.
Good luck.
Have a great week and happy selling.
Thank you. We wish you all the best. Good luck. And thanks for your time today. We really, really appreciate it. And we hope to see some of you on this incredible fam. Chat soon.
Guys.
Bye.
See you guys.